The Mini was first built in 1959 as a replacement for bubble cars and motorbikes and sidecars, and as soon as people realised the competition potential of the Mini, it took off.
They've had a huge impact in motorsport. I mean, the Mini Cooper and its history in motorsport is just enormous. It's probably one of the best racing saloons ever put together.
Well, I do things with Minis that you couldn't possibly do with any other car. I've got the Guinness World Record for parking in the smallest space. I set the world record and I did it 7 times for different camera angles and got it exactly right every time. You can be inch perfect with a Mini. Right, this is the parallel park. We're going to handbrake into a space between the 2 Minis, so get up to speed, turn in, handbrake, and stop about 4 inches from the car in front.
Russ Swift, an exceptionally talented stunt driver. He does a superb show of various different Mini manoeuvres and entertains people all around the world with that show. I mean, I've seen him many a time at most of the Mini shows, and it still gets me on his control of those cars.
The Italian job inspired my career right from the word go. I just loved what was done on the Italian job and wanted to emulate that in the things I did. From becoming the British champion in a Mini and then going on to run a Mini display team for 25 years for Austin Rover and Rover. It's been a constant thread through my career.
David and I had been friends for many years before the Italian job. We raced cars together, go-karts together, family friends, and David was in the film business.
Originally, my father has a garage and we organised all the cars, everything that moved in it, we were supplying. And then also I was to drive, and eventually I had to act, which wasn't my first choice, but that's another story.
You're meant to use your brakes, Chris. Terribly sorry, Charles.
Well, David said to me, would I like to be a stunt driver, which I thought would be a fantastic idea. Naturally, I wasn't. I'm not a stunt driver.
We were asked to play 2 of the 3 chinless wonders, who were the getaway drivers for Charlie Croker. I drove the white Mini. My name was Chris.
It's Charlie.
I played Dominic and drove the red Mini.
Now, how'd you go round? Look for that bloody exit. We can't go round here all night.
Within the Collinson family, we love the film. We really do. We just love it for the cars, to be honest. We are a Mini-addicted family. To me, the cars were just the absolute star. I have an addiction to 60s Minis, which is just unrelenting, really, and all I've ever wanted to do is own them and race them, basically. And so the film's had a huge influence over me.
You better put your foot down, put your foot down.
Been very lucky in the Mini. My father would love to have come to the sprinting and hill climbing with the Minis. He was extremely competitive. I mean, to be honest, I'm probably quite thankful he's not still alive, because only reaching the top 3 within the national scene would not have been enough for my father. He'd been pushing me hard to be absolutely at the pinnacle. He really did love his cars and had a whole host of various different exotic sports cars in his day, which he then parked around various lampposts and in fields and things. I doubt very much I'd have kept him out of the car for very long. I think that would be fair to say.
Just remember this. In this country, they drive on the wrong side of the road.
And I'm very, very excited to be at Rockingham, which is a high-speed oval. It is 40 years since I last sat in the white Mini.
I haven't been in a little Mini like this for, nearly 40 years.
I'm having such good fun on this car.
It's a bit like meeting one of your old girlfriends. It's not quite like you remembered, but it's still good fun.
Just lost the gearbox, hold on.
The stunts in the Italian job were the responsibility of L'équipe Remy Julien.
Hi, Remy Julien and his team are probably the best stunt team in the world.
He'd already done other French films, but wasn't particularly known in this country at the time. I don't know who found him, but they obviously found a star.
They were the best you could buy in those days in terms of driving a car for stunts. And that's what the film needed, so my father absolutely went for the best. I mean, Remy had a huge reputation for being able to pull off any stunt in a car. Even he had a reputation for, if you think it can't be done, Remy can do it.
Remy Julien brought science to the whole thing. Everything he did was meticulously worked out. It was practiced. It was done time and time again before we did it. And it was a complete education for me. I was fascinated by this.
I just can't describe how much he's inspired me over the years. He's always so imaginative and creative and a joy to watch whatever he does.
They were far more than just, if you're like, hugely talented and brave drivers. They were very, very clever at working out how to set the scene and how to make the actual trip look as impressive as possible from various camera angles and everything else. So they were a huge benefit to the film.
These chinless wonders will get you out of Turin faster than anyone else on 4 wheels.
Remy Julien came to London before we started shooting or anything, looked at the Minis and told us what he wanted inside.
Dippers for the continent. Just changing
The other way around.
Right.
Are they quart iodine?
Yeah, that's right, Governor.
All right.
So a huge amount of preparation in terms of strengthening bodywork. Roll cages were welded into them. All the subframes were seam welded up and extra panels added for strength in order to be able to do the jumps and the stair work. So they were majorly overhauled.
We couldn't afford the gold yet, so we're using lead, Charlie.
Will it take the weight?
Hey?
Take the weight.
Yeah, all right, Charlie.
Will it take the weight?
Yeah, it's all right, Charlie.
They also wanted to give the Minis a reasonably aggressive look also, because, I mean, they were about to take part in a large robbery, so one didn't want them looking too cute, if you like.
Disley Jones, who was the art director, decided to have these wonderful leather straps which do absolutely nothing to the car, but he liked the look of them. Plus the headlamps, which were very useful in the sewers and through the tunnels. It gave it a kind of racy look.
The Mini is ideal for the stunt work that was produced in the Italian Job. It's an incredibly controllable car.
They're so responsive, you know, to the steering, everything you do, they're immediate. They don't wait.
The whole design of the suspension just helps you through the bends at just absolute rapid speed, and they are just so beautifully stable. I mean, it really does talk to you as you put it round a circuit.
It's got a character. Just the front end of it looks like a smiley face.
They were cheeky, they were cute, they were quick.
It epitomised the 60s, the Britishness, the whole atmosphere of the period. You know, I don't think you could have done it with any other car.
I could eat the horse.
It's like a little go-kart.
Just like a great big go-kart.
It's like a go-kart. It's so responsive and you can be very, very accurate with it. And it's so forgiving. It is quite a bumpy ride. But when you actually want to put it through its paces, it takes some beating.
There was no other car in the world that looked like it or handled like it. So for me, it had to be the choice.
Remy Julien always brings excitement and innovation to stunts. The things that he did in 1968 are still unsurpassed to this day, and it's all done for real. You know that his guys actually did the things that you see on the screen.
The car chase scene isn't just a few moments, it's at least a third of the film, and just tremendous amount of skill from the team that filmed it, from the stunt drivers, and probably ourselves as well.
It's a very interesting piece where the cars drive up the ramp and onto the roof. It's just so imaginative that they hide on the dome of the roof while the police car and the policemen scratch their head to wonder where they've gone.
The ramp that went up to the Aircraft Museum was just scaffold boards and scaffolding. It was fairly rickety and it was very high. But the very worst thing was as you drove towards the edge of the Aircraft Museum roof, you couldn't see the edge. There was no barrier, there was nothing there, and it was at a slope going down like that.
Now that's about a 300-foot drop. So they had to really, really understand extremely well where those stop and brake points were. Otherwise, you could have very, very easily driven off the end of that building.
And you had to go to the very edge to not be seen in the shot. So that was pretty terrifying.
The roof jump was worked out on sketches, bits of paper. Everyone thought the minis would make it. Pretty sure, but not 100% sure.
I do jumps, but when I do jumps, I start off with no gap whatsoever and then move it wider and wider, a metre at a time, till I've got the exact speed to do an exact distance. To just go off and jump off one building onto the other took an awful lot of bravery.
He was the only one who actually did the jump, practiced it in the field, and he said to the other two, "We can do it." And they took his word for it, and they did it.
My father was quite nervous and said to the guys, "Are you sure you want to take this one on? Because, you know, this is really pushing the boundaries here, guys." But, you know, they were very, very keen to go for that shot. And they really did believe they could make that jump. To the point of, I mean, my father said, "Well, fine, if you want to take it on, we'll give it a go. And I'll be waiting on the other roof, on the other side, with a small table with a bottle of whiskey on it, with 3 tumblers to calm their nerves as they came back over and to celebrate if they made the jump."
When you look at it, they really did over-jump it because they were being careful. But you could see, if you look closely, that there is an actual landing ramp that they intended to land on to cushion the blow. But they cleared that completely and landed on the flat roof.
Broke the first one, and then the second 2 crashed up behind them. But it was only 60 feet up in the air on top of a roof, so it wasn't that big a deal.
The nature of that stunt crew was just superb. They had a theory that they might be able to get a Mini to actually turn full 360 in the tunnel. And they really, really pushed to try and get the Minis to do it.
When we did the sewer shoot, Remy Julien was driving my car, the red car. So he got me to drive the camera car, which was a fast Mini-Moke with a Cooper S engine. And so I'd be in front of him shooting what he was doing all the time. He tried it 2 or 3 times and the car landed on its roof. And we had to, you know, pull it back over again and start again. It just did not work. I think we needed a much bigger circumference tunnel and more speed.
Hurry up, Dominic!
We were in a limited, I think it was less than a mile long, the sewer we were in. And we had to keep reversing back up it and going down it again and trying again. It was physically not possible in that sewer.
I really admire them for trying to do the full 360 degrees in that, and I know how difficult that must be to make the G-forces work in both directions.
Apparently, the thing that stopped them was actually the brickwork on the roof hadn't been maintained as well as at the bottom, and as they were taking it up the side of the wall, they were losing grip and the brickwork was giving, so it was making the Mini skew.
They reckon they would have done it if they hadn't hit a manhole on the roof or something like that, but I think that was virtually impossible, and if they'd done it, I'd have been amazed.
One of my favourite scenes is the actual Minis coming into the back of the bus on the motorway. I mean, out of many adventures that I haven't had yet and I still intend to achieve, that is one of them. I will do 2 things in my Mini if it kills me. One, I will drive it down a sewer tunnel. I will find one to do. And secondly, eventually I will drive it into the back of a bus while moving.
Get the wheels in line! Get the wheels in line with it!
We do that on our shows at the Mini Celebrations. We have a 44-foot Arctic that takes 3 Minis inside. On the film, they did sort of dramatise it quite a bit and make it look difficult, and it probably would have been difficult if people hadn't done it before. And I'm sure Remy Julien's team could have got in there with no trouble at all.
Be very careful.
Okay.
If I'd been asked to do something from the Italian Job film, I'm sure I would have come up with some of my trademark moves. 2-wheeling and my parallel park. But I'd take nothing away from Remy Julien. To do what he did with that car 40 years ago was amazing.
Over the years, The Italian Job has become a cult movie with a humongous following. Humongous following.
What's amazing is when I get young people come out to me who weren't even born when the film was done, and they're complete fans of it.
The Italian Job is so enduring because you see something new every time. I probably watch it every year, and I seem to be watching a different film every time. I seem to laugh at something different or notice something that I've never noticed before.
I think it's unbelievable that it's remembered in that much, with that much love, that there is almost this rolling celebration of it as it hits additional years.
I'm sure the Italian Job has been responsible for the Mini's popularity. There's lots of things being organised 40 years on, down to the Italian Job and the atmosphere that the Italian Job has created surrounding the Mini.
You cannot go to a Mini show without seeing the Italian Job represented. They are now so interweaved, the Italian Job and the Mini itself is just so interweaved as a culture that they're impossible now to split. They are now just genetically splined together.
I would say it's the best car chase movie ever made. It's probably not the most dramatic, but it's certainly the most fun.
Who's the better driver?
He is. He's got to say me now.
I'm watching David doing handbrake turns. I have to say, I want to have a go.
That was fun.
This is the Self-Preservation Society. This is the Self-Preservation Society. Gotta get it moving, move on. Jump in the jam jar, get straight, hurry up.